We've come into the range hut to look at an assortment of roebuck heads that have come off the estate over the years. Some of them a long time ago, some of them only a couple of seasons ago. This time of year we're trying to take out the ones that we feel aren't as good antler quality wise and leave nice young ones to grow on to hopefully be a nice 6-pointer or one that we can sell with clients in the future. I think it's important to say that what I'm about to say about our roebucks here really only relates to certainly our region of East Anglia, because each area of the country has got different genetics, different food types, different trees and habitat, and that's going to affect the quality of the roebucks. The roe in East Anglia are generally believed to be roe that were introduced from Germany in the 1860s, so our native roe was extinct. And the problem with that is that German roe aren't fantastic quality anyway compared to sort of traditional British roe deer or roe from other parts of Europe. So ours are generally smaller body weights, smaller antlers, and also something we've been trying to get rid of over the years is generally they're quite narrow. The antlers are quite close together, so we've been trying to get them wider apart, so more of a nice wine glass shape. So if we start with roebucks that we would look to cull, we're looking to take out animals that we don't think are going to get any better. Obviously, if you leave any animal, its whole life, it will develop to, something that's either interesting or abnormal, but it might not develop into a nice 6-pointer, which is generally what you're looking for with a roe deer. So this is a yearling roebuck called a button buck, or some people refer to it as that. I think you could say that anything you see like that doesn't have visible antlers, or certainly very small, or just a few inches, probably isn't going to come to anything in the future. So we would try and take that one out straight away. Then, as I mentioned before, we'd be looking to take out any narrow bucks. So this is a head from a long time ago, but you can see there was a lot of heads in the old days like this. Antlers are almost straight together all the way up. What that led to over the years was quite interesting heads, but obviously not very good from a traditional 6-point or potential medal head point of view. When they got really old, because the pedicles that the antler grows from are quite close together, eventually the bone would fuse into itself, and then you would get one solid piece of antler rather than two separate antlers. And when that cast, that would then regrow as a fixed piece of antler. And those ones are referred to as coalesced antlers. We'd also be looking to take out anything that is a poor 4-pointer or not an obviously good 6-pointer. So again, this is one from several years ago. Narrow antlers, the front points aren't particularly good. The back point is missing on one side. This one is a sort of close together 6-pointer, but you can see A, it's close together, B, there's no real definition on the points on the back there, so that's also the one we'd look to cull. Generally, obviously these ones did get shot for whatever reason, but we'd be looking to leave young bucks like this. So we've got nice wide antlers for our area. The front points are a bit longer than the other ones we've looked at. Okay, this one hasn't got a tine on the back, but that should develop as it gets older. It's got the growth there, so you'd assume that's going to get a bit bigger. Again, this is a nice young 4-pointer, nice and wide for the area, good tines on the front. We'd probably leave that to see if it's going to develop a little tine on the back. If it didn't as it got older and it was just a 4-pointer, we'd look to cull something like that out. Again, this one is sort of a borderline one that we probably should have left. A nice little 6-pointer. It's got a little bit of span between there compared to the others. Nice points on the front and defined points on the back. Again, I think usually we'd leave that one to grow on and see what it turned into. Looking at this head, obviously its left antler hasn't developed properly. There's a good chance that's as a result of physical damage. So when it was growing its antlers in velvet, it's probably bashed that particular one on something, and as a result it hasn't grown properly. You get a mushroom shape around the wound, or if the antler has stayed attached to the growing antler, it can sometimes curl over the back of the head or come out to the side. This one obviously is 3 points on this side, but not a particularly wide head again, so it's probably not a bad one to take anyway. Physical damage to antlers, obviously that would cast off, and then you'd assume that would regrow a normal antler again, because that's not a genetic issue. But you've got to make a judgment in the field as to whether it's one that you think is physical damage or genetically poor. This one here is one that we actually shot on one of the videos. I think it was last roebuck season. Again, it's a 6-pointer, a sort of fairly mature animal. It's got a non-typical antler on its left side. This could be a result of a little knock, but there's no serious signs of damage on the antler there. So this could be more of an internal issue with the animal, so a slight illness or parasitic disease inside its body somewhere has then made the antler go funny, or it could be an injury to one of its legs that we didn't notice. Sometimes if a deer damages a leg, it can affect antler growth on the opposite side of the body. And then we've just got these remaining 2 heads as an example. So these are both old roebucks, and these are both good quality ones for our area. This one was actually found dead on the side of a road at the end of March, so fully developed antlers, but clearly still in velvet. So when I've cleaned it up, I've just left it as white antler underneath. From memory, I think this one was actually a better animal the year before in terms of the main beam was longer, and it had better points coming out the back. So you could say that this one's probably started to decline a little bit. You've got these longer brow tines, but this one actually is about the size to make a gold medal with the weight of it as well. And then we have another good one for our area. Again, another old buck, not overly even point length on these antlers, but a lovely old buck. So yeah, that was taken by a client some years ago on part of the estate, and it was never collected. So it's a nice one to have in our collection. A lot of people get quite hung up on like the exact ages of the bucks they shoot. And I can understand why, and it's nice if you've looked at particular bucks on your small area of ground, maybe you can age them quite specifically year after year. But when you've got a really big estate, I don't think you really need to worry too much about the actual yearly age of the animal. We just record ours in the cull record as young, mature and old. In the old days with the CIC, we would record it as young, early middle-aged, middle-aged, late middle-aged and old. So we've just left these few heads here to give you an idea of the different age classes. So you could say that a really old roebuck is probably around 9 years old. So we've got our yearling one here, our sort of 2-3-year-old, a 3-4-year-old, sort of 5-6-7-year-old. So this is getting into late middle age. And then you've got your 8, 9 to 10-year-olds at the back here. Generally, as they get older, every time the antler casts off, they lose a little bit of bone from the outside of their pedicle. So if you're looking at a roebuck on the hoof, as they're getting older, rather than having coronets that are straight across like this one on the left, the outside of the antler starts to dip down, or the outside of the coronet starts to dip down. So quite often you'll see on late middle-aged animals and really old ones that the coronet is angled down towards its eye sockets. So that's another good indicator of age. It's the middle of April, we've come down the range. I've just swapped over my 30-06 barrel for the 243 barrel for the roebuck season, so I'm just going to have a couple of shots. I know it'll be spot on, but it's just always nice to have a couple of shots when you've got a different calibre on there. We've also been sent the new Blaser Professional 2.0 stock, which is this one. The Professional 2.0 obviously goes back to a traditional grip here. You've got more textured grips on the pistol area and at the fore end there. You've got a fully adjustable cheek piece from the button at the top, so you can put that wherever you want it. It also comes with, or you can order for it, 3 different length inserts for the back of the stock. So you could have that further away from you if you're a long-armed person like me. Yeah, it's about 240 grams lighter. So if you get the Professional 2.0 stock as an R8 rifle, that comes in at around 3,600 pounds RRP. So that's quite a saving, and the only thing you've really lost is the thumb hole element. Yeah, we're going to try it, see what it's like. To be honest with you, people have been shooting traditional grip rifles for a long time. The thumb hole stock is lovely to use, and once you get used to it, you don't really want to go away from it. But I think for the weight reduction and the price reduction, this is a fantastic alternative for people that want to get into an R8. So I'm just going to have 2 shots out of curiosity with my old original stock on, and then we'll swap the barrel onto the new stock, have 2 shots like that, just to prove to ourselves that the Blaser system's so precise that you can swap barrels around and swap scopes around and it'll still hold 0 perfectly. So we've got 100 meters down there. I don't have the Spartan attachment on this new stock, so that's why we're shooting off the sandbags, so that it's a fair test for both stocks. Not a great group, but they're on the target there anyway. So we'll swap the barrel over and see what it's like in the other stock. We'll go and have a look down there, but I shot a better 2-shot group with the new stock on than the old one. But sod's law, whenever you come down to the range, you want to try and shoot a lovely tight group for you guys on the videos, and you always shoot really badly. So let's go and have a look. Yeah, so 2 shots, the first 2 with my original stock, the second 2 with the new stock. I knew my first 2 shots weren't great, a little bit to the right, and about 1 inch apart. But my second 2 with the different stock, still a touch to the right of anything, but closer together. So I would say 0 wise that hasn't moved at all. It's just I've shot a better couple of shots on the second round with the new stock. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I might click it across 1 click to the left, which is 1 centimetre on the Swarovski scope, but sod's law, that'll be just a touch to the left of 0 then. So yeah, but we'll head back up, get packed up and go stalking. Driven up to a part of the estate which is on a boundary area, just looking over onto the neighbour's ground. They've got quite a lot of rape fields that are in flower, so it's likely that the roe are going to be sat over there in that rape. But we'll go and have a look, hopefully find something sheltered against some of the hedges. That wind's really picked up again. It's about 17 degrees, but it's pretty windy, so it feels a lot colder. With this new stock, we don't have the adapter on the front for the Spartan bipod, which fits onto the quad sticks or the Springbok quad sticks. So I've got a magnetic V which I use with clients' rifles that obviously don't have the adapter for the Spartan bipod, so that just clips on there and we'll be able to use that as the sticks are intended. So yeah, just load up and we'll go and have a look. Female. Well, they weren't hanging around, we were just walking across the field there, bumped a doe off the back of this hedgerow, who obviously stopped side on, presented a lovely shot. I was surprised that she was on her own, and we just edged round a little bit. I could see 3 others stood just in here, but just couldn't get a shot on them before they ran again. And then they were behind this clump, joined up with a doe and just pegged it straight over the boundary. I didn't really get a good look at any of them, but I think there was one decent roebuck there, so probably a bit too good for us to shoot as a cull animal anyway. Yeah, it's a bit annoying, isn't it? Yeah, so we're going to keep going across, get onto the boundary. The rape fields are the boundary, as I said before, so we're going to just head down the boundary. These are quite big fields, but the next 2 fields over, there's at least 2 roe there. One of them looks a particularly big one, so it's either a big old doe or it could be a decent sized buck, but I can't see the antlers, they're too far away at the moment. We'll just keep going down the edge. There's a bit of a ditch on the boundary, something might jump up in front of us like these ones did over here. But we've got quite a lot of random Egyptian geese and grey lags in these fields just feeding away, so every now and again they just flap off and spook stuff. So as we get further down, we just have to be a bit more careful. So that's one of the 2 roe deer out there. The oak trees on the ditch between the fields in front of that roe deer are 1,000 metres, so there's probably 1,300 metres out there. So now we've come across to the edge here, we can go down the left hand side of these fields. We're just going to be careful we don't bump something on the way down like we did before. And then the field drops down into a little dip, so we might find, hopefully there's a few more roe in a sheltered patch there. Here. As per usual, there's always a munty on a hedgerow, so what was it, 25 metres away. Muntjac doe came out, couldn't get my whistle out to stop it, so it just went in the edge there, wasn't a shot on it. And then just about to move on again, this young buck came out where she was. But originally I was just on the sticks as a 2, and in the wind it was just too wobbly to get anything on the neck or the head, and so I've just waited. Got on the quad sticks luckily because it wasn't too bothered, and got a nice chest shot as it turned side on. That wind's pretty strong with this light 243. I don't think those rowing distance would have heard the shot, so we're out of sight of them now, so we'll just keep going down slowly and see what's around the corner. So we've just got into the shelter of this little clump of trees, and just noticed 2 roe deer have stood up in the field out by the telegraph pole, but they've actually now just chased each other off. They don't know we're here. Didn't get a really good look at them, but looked like 2 young bucks just playing around. So they've gone down into the corner of the field, so we might catch up with them later on. We'll just sneak round the corner, have a look at the original ones we were looking at, and then we'll come back up with the truck later and pick that one jack up. Yeah, so we're now on the edge of this little clump of trees, and we are in full view of those potentially. It looks like a doe and a buck laid down. I still can't see the buck's antlers, they're still about 500 metres away, or I can't see enough of the buck's antlers to judge it yet. Ideally we'd keep going around the corner and then just keep coming down the left-hand hedge, but we are potentially going to be in view all the way down there. Alternatively, we could just go straight towards them, get into the block of brambles in front of us where the oak trees are, and we'd probably be about 200 metres away from them then. But we're going down into the dip, and we have got a road running along at the back, so we might not end up with a very safe shot there. So I'm not quite sure what to do yet. Buck's sort of sat down sleeping, and the doe is relaxed, but she's sod's law looking straight towards us. Not that she's seen us, she just laid that way. So let's just have a look around this corner a bit more. I think the only option we're going to have is just basically head down towards them. We're obviously good for the wind because it's coming from them to us. The brambles on that ditch line are quite high, so as we get down into the dip a bit, we'll have a bit of cover behind those, and there's a little bit of a wispy tree which we can just get behind if we move to the left, so we're sort of slightly protected from the doe's viewpoint. And then we'll just have to see what it looks like when we get down there. But to go down this hedgerow on the left, we're going to be too exposed. So yeah, just keep right behind me, Adam. Yeah, so the doe is directly behind this younger wispy tree in front of us, so I can see her, she might be able to see us, but hopefully there's just enough cover there so that she doesn't really know what we are. Get down about another 80 metres, we'll be behind the brambles. Looks like they're still sat there. I can only see the buck, but he's still down and relaxed, so the doe must be there as well. This is a pretty deep ditch in front of us. It's sort of 6 foot deep. When I came here, it was all clear and clean, and you could use it for stalking up and down, and it was quite effective. Obviously the brambles have taken over, so I don't know if we'll be able to get through it, but we'll just go along to a lower bit and see if we can just get down and up the other side. Yeah, so I can see the buck a little bit better now. As I thought from up there, one of the good things with the rangefinder is you can use it to ping a distance on the deer, ping a distance to where you think you can get to, and obviously take the one away from the other, and that gives you your sort of rough shooting distance. So they're actually about 180 now, both laid down still, and the buck, he's got clean antlers, so he's going to be at least mature, but he looks sort of late middle-aged, with sort of antlers at a bit of an angle. Doesn't look any bigger than a sort of 4-pointer really. And the doe's just stood up. So yeah, we could definitely take him. Just got to see if we can get a shot on him more. I don't think we're going to get through this ditch, that's the problem. I think we're not going to get through this ditch really, and we're not going to gain a lot of distance as a result of it. We're just better off just waiting here, see if the buck gets up and see if we can get a good side-on shot. This wind's pretty strong funneling through here, so yeah, we'll just have to see what it does and then see what it looks like. Oh, I've just run off just before I was about to take a shot. Oh. Well, it's about 5-10 minutes after those others run off. We've lost the light pretty quick. It's gone behind the clouds and it's just, the light's really gone. I was just about to come back round. Adam had turned the camera off, and then I noticed a little muntjac going down the other side of the hedge here, so I sort of moved down out of sight of Adam, unfortunately, try and get a shot on another muntjac just going away, but waited there for a few minutes and it didn't want to present a shot. So yeah, it wasn't really worth trying to get Adam through all these brambles and stuff, so bit of a shame, but at least we've got that one up there. We'll just head back down towards these barns, then walk across to the truck. We've still got a little bit of light, so we might see something as we go if we're really lucky. This is the one as well, just keep right in behind me. You won't see it. Well, we do get bloody lucky on these things. I think we've literally just shot the buck that we stalked earlier. They ran out across the fields here, the buck and the doe, and I watched them go through the hedge by a big oak tree, and then we're just stalking back down here to head back towards the truck. And the buck's walking straight towards us up the hedgerow, coming back into his territory. So it wasn't a very clear shot, just managed to get a shot on the edge there through a little bit of wispy grass, but not enough to deflect the bullet. I think it's gone down. Obviously got that big hedge there with the brambles, so we'll have to go and have a look. Great. Well, I can't believe that was the same one out there with the doe. Just shows you how territorial they are and they want to come back to their spot. Actually shot this one in the neck. It was about the only good shot I had. There was just a bit too much grassy stuff in front of the chest there. I think it was stood up, but it might have just been in this start of the ditch, so it made it look like it was sat down. But yeah, that's what I was talking about when we saw it before. It's basically just a sort of middle-aged 4-pointer with one antler coming off to the side, a bit like those ones we looked at in the range hut. No obvious sign of injury for why it's coming out that way. Just this one is more bad genetics, I think, than anything else in terms of damage or internal injuries or whatever. So yeah, at this age we'd want this to be a nice 6-pointer, and then we'd leave it to breed for another rut or two. But good one to take. Just about losing the light now. Got the other muntjac to pick up over there. Luckily we can drive in and around this field. So yeah, good result. Yeah, so back at the larder. It's about 9:15 now. Obviously the days are only going to draw out longer now, so next month it'll be about 10 o'clock probably. That's the joy of roebuck stalking in the summer, isn't it? But yeah, nice muntjac carcass and a clean roe carcass. Yeah, nice stalk on the roe. Annoying that they saw us and ran off, but yeah, really lucky that the same one came back around, and nice surprise to get the muntjac at another, close distance. As we've been saying all along, using the Blaser Professional 2.0 stock. I have to say, carrying it around, you can really notice the difference, how much lighter it is than the other one I've got. And yeah, I mean, it feels great to hold, and obviously shoots just as well as the other one. So we'll be back again next month. And yeah, see what we can find then.